April is looking to be monitor testing month on this channel, and today we are taking a closer look at the INNOCN 27-inch 4K monitor. I'm doing a pretty big monitor upgrade in my office, and while I was in the process of planning this, INNOCN reached out to me and asked if I want to try any of the products they have in store. And the 27-inch 4K monitor is pretty much the perfect option for my desk setup, so I was really keen to try this one out, compare it to my other monitors and see how it is to run a 4K monitor instead of Quad HD, which I'm used to from the past few years. This monitor also has some pretty good specs. With the 4K resolution, it is a 60Hz monitor, so no gaming specs there. It comes with 400 nits of brightness, which is a lot brighter compared to other options that I have tried before. It has a 100% SRGB color gamut, which is important if you are working with pictures or video editing of some kind. But the most important thing for me is that it comes with USB-C charging, so that I can use it for a one cable setup, or at least as few cables as possible with my different laptops. If you want to buy the INNOCN 27 4K, I've put a link to the Amazon store down in the description below, and it is retailing for around $400, which you will see I think is pretty good value for money for an offering like this. Here is the package that was delivered to me, and this is an absolutely huge package. And to be honest, I actually thought this looked more like a widescreen monitor than a regular 27-inch. But this is supposed to be a regular 27-inch 4K monitor, so let's see what is in the package. It is padded with these guys, which is a smart thing to not ruin the package. Let's have a look at the box. Here it says 4K resolution, IPS panel, lifting base, picture-in-picture, and then eye care. We have some kind of opening here, which I don't really know what it is for. The backside looks exactly the same as the front. When opening this up, we get presented with a lot of protective material here, which is good since it has traveled for such a long way around the world. Taking the first layer of protective material off here, we can see over at the left side here the arm that we're gonna fit the monitor to, but we actually get presented with the actual monitor right here. And you can see right away that what I said about this looking like a widescreen was not true, because here is the size of the actual monitor, which is a regular 27-inch. So let's take out the main star of the show here and have a quick look. As you can see, we have some very slim bezels going here, and there's glass going very much all the way out, but I believe this is not the bezel, like there's actually some bezel inside there. We're gonna have to have a look at this a little bit later when I plug it into power. We have to take out this second layer here to be able to reach the accessories. And here we have everything that it comes with. The cables that are included is a USB-C to USB-C cable used for plugging this into your computer. Then we have a USB-A to USB-B cable used for plugging in other stuff to the USB hub, I guess, and then connecting this to your computer if you don't have USB-C on your laptop. Last but not least, we have a DisplayPort to DisplayPort cable, also necessary to use if you don't have USB-C on your laptop. This means the two last cables there I'm gonna put to the side, and the only thing I will be using will be the USB-C to USB-C cable. Continuing on here, we have the power cable down here, but let's put this to the side. And then we have some instructions, but there's actually more stuff here. What is this? Ah, okay, this has an external power source. That's fairly interesting. I didn't know this was a thing. So they actually put the power brick outside of the monitor instead of in it. Something that I've never seen on a monitor so far. Let's see how that works out. Next up, we have some instruction manuals here that I will be putting to the side for the time being. And we have some information about color gamut. Then we have some interesting stuff, because we need to mount this monitor in some way. And I always find this pretty interesting to see how manufacturers work out the mounting solutions, because the arm is a very important part of a monitor. This is what we are presented with. Last but not least, we have the foot for the monitor. So this is the foot where it will be mounted, and then we have this screw in the bottom that connects with the arm. So first of all, we need to set up the monitor arm. This is very straightforward. This clicks into place and it actually seems to be sitting pretty firmly right there. But of course I'm gonna be putting in this screw in the bottom. So I will just screw this until it connects the arm and the base together, and then fold the screw handle in like that. After that, I will be placing the monitor in carefully. The monitor clicks in there and then just clicks into place like that. Here you have the port setup, you have the power port, you have an audio out port, you have Type-C connection for DisplayPort, you have a regular DisplayPort, 2 HDMI ports, one USB-B connector for the USB hub, and you have 2 USB-A ports for connecting peripherals. There are no other ports on the sides of the monitor. Since we are using an external power source with this guy, I have the power source right there, and we're gonna plug this into my desk cable, and then we have the USB-C to USB-C cable that will go to my MacBook Pro 14. And when I'm gonna plug this in, I also realized that it is a different kind of power cable, so I actually need to use the one that was included. I have plugged in the power, plugged in the USB-C cable. Let's switch the monitor on and see what is going on here. This cable and this brick I'm gonna have to fix a little later on, but I don't pay too much attention to it right now. Okay, I get to select language here, so I'm gonna set it to English. And then the monitor is starting, but it just says no signal, entering sleep mode. So let's plug in the computer and see what is happening. The monitor started working right away, but I'm gonna have to adjust some settings to make this as fluid as I want it. The laptop is also taking charge, and this seems to be working just fine. I will have to work a little bit on the scaling and see how I can get as much use as possible out of the space. But my first impression, both of the colors and the resolution, the sharpness, brightness, everything looks really nice to me. I'm positively surprised with this being not a famous brand. Let's see if we can crank some more brightness out of this guy. So it's now at 50% brightness. And to go higher, we have to confirm that we actually want to go higher. And then let's see. We can crank it up to really bright. So this is probably around 350 nits. I don't want it that bright. I'm gonna set it down quite a bit. Something like that is my preferable option. This is the setup that I have been running since I received this monitor about a week ago. As you can see, we have my MacBook Pro 14-inch here. We have the INNOCN 27-inch 4K monitor, together with my BenQ screen bar on top of it. And then we have my 24-inch vertical monitor out on the side there, which complements it pretty well. I have to say that I've been thoroughly impressed with the performance of this monitor. First of all, this is a 4K monitor, and it's the first 4K monitor I have been using, and there is actually a tangible difference between running Quad HD and running 4K resolution in your office monitor like this. I don't see a big point when you're down to 24, 25 inch, but when you get up to 27 inch, for me it actually makes a difference, and I notice that I'm seeing less pixels in this monitor compared to my 27-inch Quad HD Dell that I also just received recently and is currently testing out to be able to review quite soon. Of course, running this as a triple monitor setup works just the way it should. However, there is no daisy chaining or MST running out from this monitor. So I can't connect it with one cable and then connect the second cable to this monitor from the INNOCN monitor. This is something I really appreciate with my previous monitors, but in this case it's not accessible in Mac OS either. So I've already gotten used to not being able to run MST, and therefore I'm not too bothered by it. I have the USB-C cable connected to the 27-inch 4K monitor, and then I have an HDMI cable connected to the second vertical monitor here. The monitor charges the laptop over USB-C, and this has been working flawlessly all the time. There are also a few USB ports so that this light is connected right away into the monitor and starts running when I plug in the laptop. One thing that I really appreciate with this monitor are the small bezels on the top and on the sides. We have a bit of a bigger bezel here, and I don't think it's the most beautiful bezel, but still this is a very nice and neat looking product when I have it on my desk. Both the brightness, the color accuracy and the viewing angles of this monitor has been excellent during the time I have used it. There we have the MacBook Pro in its maximum brightness setting. And as you can see, this is a bit brighter than the INNOCN 27-inch. However, the INNOCN is definitely delivering enough brightness for any kind of normal daily use. And in the middle of the day, there is a lot of sunshine coming in through this window on the left side. And this matte panel, together with enough brightness, has always been giving me perfect viewing angles, even when the sun is shining in like that. And that's something I'm not completely used to when it comes to monitors of this kind. So this monitor's brightness level is definitely enough. And the color accuracy, even though I'm not a pro, so I don't need perfect color accuracy, but I feel like it's very synced with my MacBook Pro 14. And given how good specs that monitor has, I'm quite impressed with this guy. If you compare it with the monitor on the right hand side there, you can see the brightness and the viewing angles are really not very nice. Now it is twisted a little bit, but even twisting it up more towards the camera, you can see the difference there in brightness and colors. One of the most amazing things with running a high-resolution monitor like this is the ability to run multiple windows, and I'm used to being able to run 2 of those. But in this case, I would actually say that it's feasible to run 4 windows and have solid overview of all the 4 windows. So even if you're just using one monitor here, you'll still be able to run an array of different softwares and folders and tabs, etc. And I normally use a triple monitor setup like this so I can have the things available on screens at the same time. But if you don't, you still have a huge access to screen real estate with this 27-inch 4K style. I thought that it would feel a little bit too much to have 4K and that it would be sort of an overkill for my needs. But I am so happy that I started finally using a 4K setup, and I think I will be sticking with this monitor, even over my Dell 27-inch that I just bought recently. I just have better feeling from using this monitor as a whole. That is it for my review of the INNOCN 27-inch 4K monitor. I have been super pleased with using this monitor as my main desk monitor for the past 2 weeks. And I really think that it lives up to far above the price tag of around $400 when you get it off of Amazon. So I can truly recommend this guy, and if you have any other questions about it, please let me know down in the comment section below. I am W2Best to make in-depth gear reviews and tutorials, and I will see you in the next video. Have a nice day. Bye bye.